Final Fantasy XIV's Monk has always been an exciting job to play. Building up your momentum with Greased Lightning and preserving it during combat is a rush that often makes me forget about important game mechanics. That hasn't changed with the 4.0 Stormblood update, but unfortunately the new additions, while exciting in their own way, don't do much to add to the thrill of kickboxing with giant monsters. Furthermore, the overhaul of existing skills didn't do much to spice up the simplistic nature of the job. So let's find out what's wrong with the Monk. With 4.0, every job received a job gauge. For some, it was accompanied by an entirely new gameplay system, but for others, it was quality of life for their existing mechanics. The Monk's job gauge shows their Greased Lightning buff and their chakra. Greased Lightning is a stacking attack speed and damage buff gained by doing combos, and Chakra is a job resource that can be used on other abilities. This resource was originally only gained with the meditation ability, which shared a cooldown with weapon skills. That meant if you were punching, you weren't gaining chakra. At level 62, monks unlock a trait called Deep Meditation, which grants them a 50% chance to generate chakra on critical hits. With this trait, monks now have a way to generate chakra while fighting. There's not much to complain about unless the random number gods aren't on your side. Unfortunately, the good news ends there. The Monk currently has 2 weapon skills that most people will rightfully deem useless, and 3 stances that, while situational, don't feel completely in sync with the Monk's kit. Arm of the Destroyer is a low damage area attack with an excessively high cost because of its additional effect. It silences all targets hit for 1 second when used from Oppo form, but that silence is mostly negligible. With such a powerful looking animation, it would have been nice to see more synergy made between Arm of the Destroyer and the Monk's other area attack, Rockbreaker, instead of receiving no changes at all. 1-Inch Punch originally dealt moderate damage and had the additional effect of removing a beneficial status effect from enemies, but that additional effect has been changed to an unresistible stun that lasts for 1 second. While the new effect provides more consistent benefits, its benefits are still extremely negligible because of the short duration of the stun and the high cost of the skill. You'll hardly find yourself using it, unless you know something about it that I don't. And by the way, no, you cannot use the stun on bosses. Finally, Monk has 3 stances: Fist of Earth, Fist of Wind, and Fist of Fire. Earth reduces the damage you take by 10%, Wind increases your movement speed, and Fire increases your damage dealt by 5%. The situational benefits of these skills are nice, but more times than not, there's no reason to give up the 5% increase in damage. It's unfortunate that more wasn't done with these stances to make them more useful, especially considering Monk's new level 66 trait was built around them. Tackle Mastery is the most upsetting of the 4.0 changes because it had the most potential. This trait grants your shoulder tackle ability an additional effect based on which stance you're using. That sounds cool, but the additional effects are not. Fist of Fire increases the damage of your tackle. Fist of Wind grants you an additional tackle but halves the damage, and Fist of Earth shortens the range but adds a knockback effect. Earth Tackle is laughably bad because there's no reason you'd want to push an enemy away from punching distance. Wind Tackle is cool, but I have yet to be in a situation where having 2 dashes feels helpful or necessary. Fire Tackle deals more damage than the other 2, but it's an uninteresting change. The next 2 abilities Monk gained are loosely based around the Fist stances. If Fist of Earth is not already active, Riddle of Earth will grant you Fist of Earth and a buff called Earth's Reply if damage is taken within 30 seconds. If damage is taken, your Greased Lightning buff is extended to the maximum duration, and your damage reduction is increased by an additional 10%. I had a lot of fun with this ability when I was grinding levels in the open world. But besides when shit hits the fan, or if a boss transition phase is going to last less than 16 seconds, this ability is an exercise in futility. It's nice to have an extra shot at preserving your Greased Lightning, but when you consider the Monk has a way of dumping its grease for a burst of damage with Tornado Kick, it would have been nice to see a different quality of life attached to Riddle of Earth. Riddle of Fire is infinitely more useful, but its usefulness is coupled with a contradiction and frustration. It increases your damage dealt by a whopping 30%, but it increases your weapon skill recast delay by 15%. The increase in delay doesn't completely nullify the effects of Grease Lightning 3, but it makes the monk feel slow for 20 seconds. Brotherhood is the monk's level 70 skill, and it's good, but I can't help but feel like it could be better. It increases the physical damage dealt by nearby party members by 5%. It also grants a 35% chance of opening a chakra when party members use a weapon skill while affected by Brotherhood. In a group of 4, you'll always have at least one person that can benefit from this skill, the tank. But depending on your composition and your luck, this skill will feel cool or like nothing at all. I would have preferred it if Brotherhood consistently increased your chakra generation instead of relying so heavily on group composition and luck. With all things considered though, it's not that bad. The core of the monk is still fine. It punches things hard and fast and looks like a badass while doing it. But it's been doing that since A Realm Reborn without expanding on its gameplay, or refining what's already there. The job does great damage and can hold its own with the strongest jobs in Final Fantasy XIV, but it's a shame that it doesn't feel as good as it is. Oh man, that's a bit of a Debbie Downer for us to end on, but it's the truth. The monk is a very cool class, it looks amazing, and it's incredibly powerful, but its toolkit isn't 100% functional. So I guess we'll have to cross our fingers that the developers get it right on the next expansion pack, or preferably a little bit sooner. But on that note, the name of the game is Final Fantasy XIV, the name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.